Nick Root up at the front, along with Matt Janzik, the 30, the 33X. Then you got the 410 of Mike Fowler. Starting in third, Richard Murtaugh fourth, Jessica Power, and Zach Buff. Those are your top six as they come to green. Our DIRTcar Sportsman main event is underway.
And Nick Root, quick, we got a problem. Richard Murtaugh up against the boilerplate, brings it back down, but he's lost a lot of spots early. Battle for the lead shaping up. Nick Root, the youngster, going after the veteran Matt Janzik. Looks like it'll be Janzik this time up off the turn, but Root staying right there with him.
Matt Janzik going to have the advantage. He'll click off lap number 1 as your race leader with Root in the number 2 spot. Mike Fowler in third, Jessica Power fourth, Tanner Warner rounding out the top 5 as that jumble kind of took a few cars out of position. Zach Buff, one of those that got shifted out of the top 5 along with Murtaugh.
Yeah, him and Murtaugh both got shuffled out of line there. Now Zach Buff trying to regain some positions on that outside portion of the racetrack, but Matt Janzik showing the way early with Root and Fowler the top 3. Jessica Power starting to pull away. We got caution on the racetrack, however. We got a jingle in turn number 4.
Number of cars together in turn number 4 as yellow flag coming out on the racetrack, as it'll be our first caution as a number of cars going to pull into the infield. As we are green flag racing, we'll see if Nick Root can stay with Janzik as they come down the front stretch.
And Matt Janzik able to get away down into turn number 1 and 2. Nick Root still there to second. Jessica Power trying to work on Mike Fowler to try to get the 3 spot away as they drag race down the back straightaway. Richard Murtaugh into the mix as well. Power able to clear the 410 of Fowler. She moves to third as Janzik will lead lap number 8. Once again, we got David Beauclair off the pace in turn 2.
Beauclair going to try to keep it rolling as we remain under green flag conditions as they go up into turn number 1 and 2. Janzik holding on to the race lead as they head down the back straightaway. He's opened up to about an 8-car length advantage over Root. Power up to third, fourth Mike Fowler, fifth right now Richard Murtaugh as they go down into turn number 3 and 4. The 33X going to keep it wound up on the top side. We come by this time to put lap number 9 up on the board. It's all Matt Janzik out in front. This car slowing up into turn number 1 and 2. That is Taylor Dockstader as yellow going to come out onto the speedway. Going to try to get by Matt Janzik as we go back to green flag racing, this time by 14 laps in the books. We're back underway. We'll see if Root can get Janzik going into turn number 1 and 2.
Looks like Janzik's going to have the advantage at least for now. Nick Root's going to try that inside lane. Jessica Power's going to stay in front of Mike Fowler up off the turn. Murtaugh will hang in the top 5, so no change in the top 5 spots. It's still Janzik, Root, Power, Fowler, and Murtaugh. Your top 5 is look behind them. Tanner Warner under attack from Zach Buff.
410 of Mike Fowler stepped out of line trying to get by the 52 machine. Meanwhile, we got a car around in turn number 3 and 4 pointing into the Jersey barrier, and that is going to bring a yellow out onto the speedway. I believe that is the 28X of Stephen Marshall up there in between turn number 3 and 4 bringing out the caution. Matt Janzik still up at the point on this one. He's got Nick Root to his inside. Can Root do anything here to get by him? Green flag back out on the speedway.
And green is in the air. Matt Janzik able to scoot away into turn number 1 and 2. Nick Root right there with him, into second. Mike Fowler has taken the 3 spot away from Jessica Power. A look at the 3-wide battle behind her.
Zach Sabaka stepping it out on the outside as Tanner Warner has now gone to 5th, getting by Richard Murtaugh. Warner taking some lessons from a little bit earlier when you saw Anthony Borrego up on the top side trying to make the outside stick. As they come down the front straightaway, Warner's working the outside lane. Of course, his dad, 2-time DIRTcar Sportsman winner at Super Dirt Week, Rocky Warner. He's up to that number 5 spot and had a good look at Jessica Power last time by as they came down the front stretch.
Murtaugh right there to the 5 spot as we got cars around. We got one up onto the outside boilerplate. That's the Jason Riom 27 machine. Yellow lights are on.
Green flag back out on the speedway.
Green lights back on. Matt Janzik puts the hammer down, goes into 1 and 2, and gets that outside preferred groove of the lead. Nick Root's going to stay right there with him, though, as they exit turn number 2. Nick Root right there to challenge down on the low lane. Janzik on the outside lane. Side by side into turn number 3 and 4. Give the spot to Janzik off the corner.
Janzik looked like he's just able to roll it a little bit better in the middle, and he's able to get a great drive off turn number 4. Root did a good job, Gil, getting all the way to the bottom, finding a little bit of bite, and he was able to go side by side with Janzik off that last restart. Murtaugh seeing what Warner did a couple of laps ago, going to move to the inside. Meanwhile, Cody McPherson trying to muscle his way up through. Stevenson comes in, that hip checks the 7 up to the top of the racetrack, and they'll stay together coming down the front straightaway. Now we got one around down to the back. That's going to be Kiera Backus, and that's going to bring yellow ahead. We'll stay green for the time being, but Backus comes to a stop. See if she can get out of harm's way. Now the yellow going to come out onto the speedway. As they come through the corner, Stevenson hip checks the 7 out of the way. You see the 7 car go up to the top side, and then behind it in all the jumble, Backus goes around behind them, and that brings the yellow out on the speedway. Janzik's got Nick Root right behind him, Jessica Power, Richard Murtaugh, Mike Fowler rounding out the top 5 as we go back to green.
Back underway, 41 in the books as they come back to the stripe. Janzik and Nick Root. Now here comes Jessica Power looking for second, and Power goes to the 2 spot. Nick Root falls to third, Richard Murtaugh and Fowler into the top 5.
Jessica Power with a power move down into turn number 2 as they work down into turn number 3 and 4. The 52 car setting her sights on Matt Janzik as they go off the corner. They'll come by this time and put lap number 41 up on the board. 9 laps to go. Janzik still out in front, but Power up to second. Sabaka now trying to make his way into the top 5 as he tries to find a little bit off the cushion in turn number 2. He does. He'll take the spot away from Mike Fowler. Here's Nick Root going to step out to the outside. This opens the door for Sabaka on the bottom now, looking for spot number 4. Sabaka going to nose out ahead as they head down the back straightaway. Here's Nick Root looking for second as Jessica Power holds on to that race car. Root looks like he's going to get by her, though, as they go through 3 and 4.
Nick Root retakes the 2 spot. Power there for third. Zach Sabaka fourth as they click off lap number 47, this time by Richard Murtaugh, having a solid run into 5th.
This time by white flag out on the speedway for the 33X of Matt Janzik as he leads this one over a full straightaway advantage as they come down the front straightaway. Then it'll be Nick Root. Right now the battle for third. Sabaka gets by Jessica Power. Chad Edwards lurking to try to get a top 5 run, and now that left front is completely looks like it's gone away on the 52. But Tim Balls, we got a winner coming down through 3 and 4.
It's finally going to happen. Matt Janzik will bring it across the line as first Chevy Performance victory here in the DIRTcar Sportsman at Oswego. Second will go to Nick Root. Third to Zach Sabaka. Fourth to Richard Murtaugh. And Jessica Power holds on for a top 5 finish.
Oh man, after this week, and hats off to the track crew. I came up here yesterday in the rain and looked at it, and I was like, man, we are going to be in trouble. So hats off to them. What a great facility, and DIRTcar for putting on this show. And man, what a race. This thing was so good, this Teal Pro car, and I couldn't do it without all my sponsors, Billy Whitaker Cars and Trucks and Whitaker Ford, Finish Line Designs, Power Seal, Ted's Body Shop, Brodell Energy. There's just so many people behind this team that really get us in the right direction. And man, this was one of the things on the bucket list that I hadn't checked off yet, and it feels awesome to be up here. Well, them restarts really was key for me. Nick was really, really good on restarts, so I don't know if I was in the better line, but that hole coming out of 4 was a little bit challenging, I think. I went through it 1 lap racing, and I was like, man, I got to be above that thing. So I figured if I could roll the outside and be smooth, he'd go through the hole, I'd beat him to 1, but it didn't always work, and I was just able to roll through the middle on restarts. And at one point, I don't know if somebody lost water or what, but man, the middle 1 and 2 had so much grip, it acted like it took rubber. I think it was just some water on the track because it finally burned off. But man, what a testament to this team, and thanks to all the fans for sticking out. It's been a long week for sure.